In the INCREDIBOX mod, there is already confirmed information about who is behind the murders, and it is Venda, known as White. However, the developers left a little intrigue, hinting at the possibility of a second assassin. In fact, there may even be more. Good day, everyone. Let's try to figure out who is actually a maniac in this amazing universe. I propose you to conduct a mini investigation during which we will try to identify the creatures. Among them, there are unhealthy and unstable individuals with dark intentions, which led to horrifying consequences. Some have survived, of course, but can we be sure that the survivor is our friend and not a murderer? This question requires serious investigation and in-depth analysis, for the world of INCREDIBOX is full of mystery and surprises. Let's try to find out who died how and who survived due to a happy coincidence of circumstances. First of all, let me remind you who has already left our world, and we have no claims to them yet. Among the victims is Orange. He was definitely unlucky, although judging by the sound, his poor heart is still pounding. The other characters make their musical beats, and it seems quite normal. Orange has died, as has another character, Kluker, who unfortunately has had half his head blown off and now his symbol is sinking ever lower. Our Raddy, on the other hand, is also unlucky enough to be pulled up, a sight that looks rather creepy, as if it's only getting worse by the minute. Sky was stabbed very violently. He didn't survive the meat grinder either. And the Golden Garnold was crushed from the inside out. It surprises me that he's dead, since he's essentially a robot. Interestingly, his creators, Mr. Fun Computer and Fun Bot, are creations of Kluker. That doesn't automatically make Garnold a full-fledged robot. He's probably a cyborg with some human traits. But unfortunately, that doesn't save him from a horrible fate. One of the killers had a hand in this, most likely Wenda, although she is officially credited with only one victim, Tunner. In the creepy version of this story, Tunner has a hole, which is suggestive. He was known to have a gun, but it was Wenda who massacred him using his own weapon. It can't be that he suddenly had this hole for no reason. This mystery only emphasizes the complexity and confusion of the whole situation. How could Wenda so easily use Tanner's weapon against himself? Well, we've counted all the dead. Let's talk about the survivors. Among them, there is obviously someone who could be the killer, besides Wenda. She is the crazy girl who smiles the most and is the only one who is happy about the current situation. But maybe she's not the only killer, as the developer claims. Wenda used a knife for her crimes, and it's officially confirmed, but she also shot Tanner. That she favors the knife is an interesting clue, but so far, it doesn't tell us anything. She could do a lot of things with that knife, from just stabbing it into someone to cutting off half their head. I wonder what other survivors might be hiding dark secrets. Maybe some of them have motives we don't know about yet? But let's move on to the other survivors. Gray, how did he escape? Basically, just by taking cover. The horror he felt when he was chased is clearly imprinted on his face. He was searched for, but he was incredibly lucky, which can't be said for Brown. His face is bitten off, and it doesn't seem to have made any impression on him. He's just alive, and that's already a good thing. As for Durple, he hasn't changed at all in the horror mode. The only thing that scared him a bit was the stalking, just like Gray. However, there's another detail about him. He's not normal. Could this be a hint that he's a killer? Not likely. More likely, the developer is trying to confuse us. We have an abnormal character, and in theory, he could very well be a killer, although this is just my personal opinion. However, an assassin in this game can't be scared. Wenda confirms this, as her insanity and cold-bloodedness show that she is not at all afraid of the consequences of her actions. It is important to remember that among the survivors, there may be others who hide their true intentions. You should carefully analyze their behavior and appearance to recognize any hints of a possible threat. Do not discount the mental state of each of them. Perhaps it is this that will reveal new facets of this mysterious story. Pinky. She got her face eaten in general. Perhaps she was injured so badly during Venda's attack on Orange and her, because it's known that Orange and Pinky are a couple and they dated, and only Pinky managed to survive. As for Jevin, aka Blue, he seems suspiciously calm. Even in such dire circumstances, he doesn't show fear, but he doesn't smile either. His coldness and calculating nature are conspicuous. I might have put him on my list of suspects if it weren't for one but. The developer assures me he's on the good side. So I guess we can't touch the blue one anymore. Still, one has to wonder how reliable the information from the developer is. Maybe it's just a ploy to divert attention from the real threats. Lime. He survived too, though neither his death nor his life are clearly confirmed. In the horror version, he looks pretty energetic, but his mouth is missing somewhere, and now he's always smiling. By the way, his official name is not Lime, but OWAKCX. But let's just call him Lime. Interesting fact, Lime has been released or escaped from a mental hospital. Let's keep that in mind, we may need that information later. As for the rest of the survivors, Funbot is sad over the death of his creator, Kluker, and Mr. Computer is also sad. He generally insists that we'd better get out of here. Among the other survivors are some who have turned into actual monsters. This adds even more darkness to our story, for their transformation may hide dangerous secrets and unavoidable consequences. We have to be especially careful, because even those who look harmless can hide something terrible under their mask. A green girl named Veneria appeared to have some kind of plant growing inside her, which explains her strange appearance. Mr. Sun transformed into an eye, and Mr. Tree turned black and glued a missing person's ad instead of a face. What could this mean? Is there some kind of reference in this? Perhaps the only thing that comes to mind is Slenderman, but even then it's not entirely accurate. Simon, the yellow one, bit part of the brown one's face off, but didn't finish it because he choked on it. This just confirms how dangerous they can be in their monster nature. Their actions show that hidden abilities can suddenly manifest when the situation becomes critical. One more mysterious black character remains. His real name is unknown. He is simply referred to as Black. This name perhaps represents some darkness or mystery hidden in his past. Black doesn't show up normally. When we put the hat on the Sprinkles, he transports us to another world about which nothing is yet known. Despite his mysteriousness, he could very well be the second assassin. His evil nature is reflected in the fact that as soon as we put the hat on, chaos ensues. Suddenly someone is murdered, and someone is turned into a monster. Only a few were able to escape, narrowly escaping with their feet, while some escaped with minor injuries. There is a possibility that Black was paired with White, and their actions could have led to such tragic consequences. In addition, there is another survivor I've already mentioned. He escaped from a mental hospital, or perhaps he was released from there. Judging by his appearance, treatment has clearly failed. Assuming he did escape, this opens up new questions about what may have happened outside the walls of that hospital and what secrets he took with him. Lime, despite everything, clearly arouses suspicion with his crazy eyes that make him look like a psychopath. Interestingly, the developer, oddly enough, didn't stick up for him. He only excused Blue, who seemed too calm and suspicious. Lime, of course, is also injured, but I think his madness speaks volumes. Aside from Black, he seems like the most suspicious character in our story. There's a possibility that he mutilated himself to gain everyone's sympathy and look like a victim, especially against the backdrop of his mental illness. This behavior fits into a picture where disguise becomes vital for survival in this world, full of danger and secret motives. Lime may use his woundedness as a way to manipulate others, misleading them and drawing attention away from his own dark intentions. So what's the bottom line? We have one confirmed killer and two prime suspects, Black and Lime. However, I can't rule out the possibility that there could be a monster among the others. For example, Yellow tried to eat Brown, so other monsters could be a threat. On the other hand, it seems to me that Sun and Tree are unlikely to be able to cause harm. Fanbot doesn't seem to be a threat either. It's too sad and pining for its creator. It's not an insane machine as we might think if it acted aggressively. However, it all depends on the intentions of the developer. I can name two others who could potentially be killers, besides Venda. Do you think there really could be a second killer among us? And how many assassins do you think there really are in Sprunki? Write your opinion in the comments. Ultimately, each of these characters may be hiding their own dark secrets, and we need to be extremely careful to unravel their true intentions and identify possible threats.